So in front of me, I've got the OneTigris Backwoods Bungalow. This is currently around £100 on Amazon, and it looks completely different. It looks unique to a lot of the tents out there and a lot of the tents that I've used. If you've spent time putting a tarp over a smaller tent, well, this has it already built in. I love the colour, the coyote brown. It blends into the woodland, and at this time of year, with the leaves and the greens coming out, could this be a perfect little shelter for wild camping? And unlike my Fox 2 or my Hilleberg, I'm able to sit up, kneel up, get changed. There's loads of space. It looks good. It looks different. And the best thing about it as well, there are no poles. If you're a woodland camper, a bit of deadwood lying around, and you can take out this big shelter with an awning for around 1.4 kilo. I really think this is a fantastic shelter. And in this video, I'm going to set it up and spend 2 nights out wild camping in the woods and put it through its paces. Now, this wild camp, somebody was meant to join me, and unfortunately that person couldn't come along. This is why I'm setting up, as you can see, the OneTigris Stella. This is a 4-season tent, not quite needed this time of year. However, its 4-season is pretty optimistic. I would put it in the same range as warmth as the Fox 2, and this is a 3-season tent. Also, I do have the landowner's permission to be in this woodland, hence having the little fire in the pit here. Don't do this if you haven't got permission. Don't do this if you don't know what you're doing with fire. And it's been pretty dry and hot in the UK lately. Be super, super careful. So as you can see, today I'm out on a little wild camp. It's not very wild because I've got so much gear out here. But nevertheless, it's still a camp. And I've gone and bought something, and I've not even opened it up yet. The OneTigris Backwoods Bungalow. Now, this has kept popping up on my Amazon as something that I may be interested in. And every time I saw it, it was. But I never quite got round to purchasing it. However, this time I did. And I've brought it out. It is completely unopened. We're going to have a little look at the Backwoods Bungalow. Get this set up, this one skin canopy type shelter, and have a little look at it. So the OneTigris Backwoods Bungalow. OneTigris served prepared minds since 2014. OneTigris thrives through feedback and co-design to deliver quality, affordability, and flexibility for canines, airsofters, EDC users, and outdoorsmen. Do more with the same budget and begin your journey with good gear. And so far, OneTigris have delivered good gear with the things that I've bought. So this is a 75D poly fabric shelter with a waterproof rating of 1500. The dimensions are 6'8" by 4'1". And there's loads of other stuff. The guy line length 3 meters. This is in coyote brown. You can get it in OD green as well. Let's just cut to the chase. Let's set this up. So as you can see, OneTigris love to stamp their logo over absolutely everything and as large as possible. And they haven't failed to deliver with the Backwoods Bungalow. I can see I've got the OneTigris Stella over there, and they do exactly the same. They love to brand up, and they've done that there. Let's unravel it and figure out how we set up this poleless shelter. First things first, let's have a little look what we get in the bag. So, like I said, here's your ginormous branded OneTigris camping bag. And here is the completely unopened, fresh Backwoods Bungalow. And let's unravel her. We've got some pegs. Now, watch the outdoor gear review, and he reckons you don't get enough pegs. Let's have a look what we do get. We get some awesome, I love this color. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, 12 pegs, unattached guy lines, not a problem. The unit itself, it is as simple as that. We're going to have to get some sticks and some other bits and bobs to help set it up because I've got no trekking poles. However, this is what you get in the bag. Let's unravel her and set it out. Now, this video is not sponsored by OneTigris. Right, let's figure out what we've got. I've got an air vent here, so you can see on the back here, I can see an air vent. So we're going to pop her down like so. Let's have a little look. Of course, massive OneTigris branding all over it. What does it look like? Oh, okay, so it looks like we're going down like that. I think I've figured her out. We're going down like this. Let's pop some pegs in and try and get this resembling some sort of shelter. We'll pop in a peg there just for the minute. Pull her down there. There. We're going to need some sticks. Okay, so I found 2 dead branches pretty close by. We're going to use these. Okay, there's one. There's my other stick. And then we're going to pop her in like so. Let's just go in there. There. This is where we're going to get 2 more sticks. Okay, so now we've found our 2 little sticks at the height that I want. I'm going to put a couple of notches in them. So since I started wild camping, I'm a big fan of the OneTigris brand. Now, there's a few reasons why. One was the chair. The first little camping chair I got, I was really, really impressed with. And since then, whenever I've tried any OneTigris stuff, it seems to have been really, really good. And now we're going to peg out the back just to pull it out and give us some space. I can see, in order to peg out this little vent, I've got to use my last 2 remaining pegs. The outdoor gear review is correct. OneTigris don't give you enough pegs with this product. We need to peg out these. I haven't got a peg at hand, unfortunately. Use that stick. And so here she is, all set up in her little glory. So we've got our little canopy here, which is quite sturdy actually. Just use a couple of sticks, running our guy lines down. Really good little tighteners, love these. Here you can see the 75D canopy with our second point there. Let's go under the canopy and we can see this real solid mesh that gives us access into our little backwoods bungalow. And you can see that back being pulled out as we guide out from those points there up over that stick. 1 stick there, guide out there, a little air vent down the bottom there. Apparently the condensation is atrocious, but she does look quite nice. I'm going to get her set up, ready to spend a couple of nights in these woods. Now she's all set up, I really like her already. The canopy's awesome because that is what we're always looking for just outside our tent. And this bug net, this mesh is absolutely massive. And you can roll her up somehow and have this completely open. Let's see what the toggles are like. Okay. Basic. But they do the trick. Well, once you're in, that's a lot of room. And a great view. I'm starting to like this already. There's loads of headroom. Loads of room for my bag, my shoes. And all of that stuff outside is going to be kept dry. My first impressions of the OneTigris Backwoods Bungalow is brilliant. So let's spend a couple of nights out in the woods in this OneTigris Backwoods Bungalow. Morning world. So this is my view. So we've done our first night in the Backwoods Bungalow and it was great. I loved it. I kept the awning up all night, and the reason why is because I hear a lot about the condensation on this shelter. So I decided to leave it up, leave it open, and I had no problems whatsoever. The Scent 900 held up and did its job because the temperature dropped last night, but night one was great. Let me give you a little tour on some of the things I set up around camp. So somebody was joining me. Unfortunately, they've had to cancel. So I did bring out the OneTigris Stella ready for that person. Little bed in there, nice little setup. For me, obviously, the OneTigris Backwoods Bungalow. Down in there, that light doesn't flicker in real life. It's just on camera. But there we've got the Kilos Gear Rover X light that I absolutely love. Scent, simple setup, nice big height. So they are the sleeping setups. Over on camp itself, we just dug a little fire pit. Obviously, if you've not got the landowner's permission, don't be going and having any sort of fires. I've got my dirt ready to put back from my fire pit. Loads of water over there. And obviously a rubbish bag. Oh, and I completely forgot. Over, if I look up there, I just quickly popped up 3.5 by 3.5. I've put that up super high in the trees. Actually had to climb up there a little bit. So I can still have the fire, my bits and bobs underneath, and it's straight opposite camp. Okay, so it is the second night out in the OneTigris Backwoods Bungalow, and I'm really looking forward to it. Last night was okay. It was a little bit chilly. I was optimistic on my clothing choices. I need to sort that out tonight. The temperature does chill down. And if I want to keep this open to avoid any condensation, being a one skin shelter, then yeah, you're really gonna have to choose the right clothing and the right sleeping setup. So tonight I am fully prepared. Let's hopefully get a good second night's sleep, and we will give a full breakdown in the morning. How does the OneTigris Backwoods Bungalow hold up over a couple of nights while camping in the woodland? So 2 nights have been done in the OneTigris Backwoods Bungalow. But would I recommend it? Well, that is a good question, and I think it completely depends on what you're after. So I am going to start with the pros while packing away. The pros, firstly, space inside. You've got much more headroom than a lot of tents, like a Helleberg Solo, like a Fox 2, maybe even the Fox 3. So as well as the headroom and the space inside, the next pro is going to be the view. This large mesh panel, especially over the summer months, means it's about as close to being outside as you can be whilst being inside something, if that makes sense. The colour. I absolutely love the colour. Being coyote brown like this truly blends in. If you're a wild camper, bushcrafter, I reckon you're going to love the look of this shelter. The next pro, the colour of these pegs. They're lovely. I only set it up this way because it's a way that I'm familiar with the sticks, the paracord or the guy lines. Another pro has to be the weight. Of course, 1.4 kilo is pretty light for something that's going to give you this amount of space, unless you can think of something lighter. Obviously, you've got your trekking pole tents and such, but this isn't that. This is a big, livable, nice space that is great for wild camping. The next con would be its single skin. Now that has its advantages, obviously, for its weight, for how small this is about to pack up. Of course, being a single skin has advantage. However, it comes with disadvantage, namely in the form of condensation, which is why I pretty much kept this open the entire 2 days. Another con, you're gonna have to buy some more pegs because you don't get enough with it. The next con is anyone looking at it from the side is gonna think you are a OneTigris ambassador. This takes minutes to set up and minutes to pack down. If you don't mind the big logos because you love the colour, you're going to be happy. However, the biggest con that I have noticed with this is the bottom. The bottom is no different to the top. I would highly recommend getting a footprint with the Backwoods Bungalow. You are undoubtedly going to damage the bottom if you haven't got a footprint. So finally, would I recommend the OneTigris Backwoods Bungalow? If you are a woodland camper or a bushcrafter, 100%, you're going to love it. You're going to love the colour, the layout, the size, the canopy. This has a huge floor space for you in which to sit and shelter, to sleep, to sit up, to kneel up. And it provides you with an incredible view of wherever you are. If you are not a woodland camper, it may not be the shelter I'd go for. If you're on the top of Kinder Scout, you're probably not going to be taking this. It's my dream to do this full time as much as possible, and that needs subscribers and likes and comments. If you've got anything constructive to say, pop it down below. If you wouldn't mind liking and subscribing to the channel, that'd be massively appreciated. I'm Andy, this is Beard in the Wild. Leave no trace and stay wild.